Welcome back to Card Salad. It is Monarch Flesh and Blood spoiler season day 2. Um, we are going to go over day 2. I think it's 10 cards. And was that with or without the hero being 2 of those cards? There's
I
9
don't
or
know.
10. There's 9 or 10 cards.
They'll find out eventually.
Yeah. Because Legend Story Studios released 3 themselves, so there's a little bit of a higher number today. And if you did not see our day 1 spoiler video, we are going to go over the cards that have been revealed for the day and give them a rating on their power or strength, kind of our guess as to how powerful the cards are going to be, and kind of talk about where they might fit and how they might impact the game. We are going to do an art score, but we're going to move it to the end of the video this time. So the first half of the video, or the first most of the video, should be us discussing power level and how the cards are going to work. And then at the end, we'll go back and we'll give our feelings on the artwork. And I think it's worth paying attention to the art in this game because they're just doing such a good job. Even if some of them aren't like your favorite art, it's just like it's all thematically on point, and it's just worth looking at and enjoying. So, anyways, we're going to get started here with Endless Maw. And I'm sure I've heard it before, but earlier someone mentioned Maw means mouth. So this is just Endless Mouth. And as you can see why.
Team Covenant?
I was watching Team Covenant, yeah. Were you watching it too?
Yeah.
Nice. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Why is it so close though? Why maw and mouth is like a couple letters away, or like a couple, like it sounds the same. You're like, well, just call it a mouth.
Rooted from a different language.
Probably, yeah.
Delete that language. So this comes in 3 colors. So obviously red, yellow, blue pitch. And I think the difference is just the damage. So this one's 6, yellow is 5, blue is 4. This is a 6 attack rare. Pitch for 1, 3 cost. As an additional cost to play Endless Maw, banish 3 random cards from your graveyard. Oh, and I should mention it's a Shadow Brute attack action. You can only play this card if you are a Shadow Brute, which, as of right now, will only be what's her name? Levia?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to jump forward real quick. This is Levia. She is the hero. She is a Shadow Brute. She's the only one we know of right now. And it may be a long time before they make more Shadow Brutes. But if they ever do make more Shadow Brutes, which they probably will, this will be playable by them. But right now, in our current context, we only have Levia who can play this. As an additional cost to play Endless Maw, you must banish. You have to banish 3 cards from your graveyard in order to play this. If a card with 6 or more attack is banished this way, Endless Maw gains +3, and it has Blood Debt. So at the beginning of your end phase, you lose a life for every Blood Debt card in your banish zone. So if a card with 6 or more attack is banished this way, it gains +3. So this is a 3 for 9, which is really good. No go again or anything, but brutes have ways to gain action points, and there's other cards in the game you can mix in, I'm sure. But man, just 3 for 9 is significant. I mean, you got to block with like 3 cards in your hand, or have defense reactions, or throw a ton of armor in the way. And I assume since you're playing brute, you have a lot of 6 attack cards. Shouldn't be too hard. And this will be like shuffle up your discard pile and like you pull 3 random ones out. But I figure you're just gonna build your deck more heavily towards 6 attack cards, and then you're probably with 3 chances, you're probably gonna land it. So this thing's coming. You just pitch a blue, and you're coming at him for 9. Does have the Blood Debt, but if you're playing Levia, pretty sure if you met the requirement for this card, you would also meet the requirement for her ability, which is to turn off Blood Debt for the turn. So This is a 3 for 9 with no drawback. This card seems like an 8 to me. It's very powerful. It's not game breaking. It's not. There's no extra effect there, really pushing it over the edge. I think it's just an extremely solid card that is gonna go in your Shadow Brute deck.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I'd probably put it down to a 7, just because it is only a Shadow Brute. So if we're looking at the expansion, or not the expansion, the set as a whole, a little weak because it only fits into one thing. But as far as a Shadow Brute card, very good. I think it'll be a staple in Shadow Brute decks. Very, very consistent. You use it early on in the game, it's going to be really big because if you're defending with a couple 6 attack cards just to get them into the graveyard,
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to guarantee getting this off, trying to hit real big, real early. And I think it could move things along really fast.
It's certainly terrifying in Blitz, because
Hmm.
if you do defend early, like you have them go first, you defend, put some 6 attacks in there. You have to get 3 though, so you could
Yeah.
commit. You could go, I'm blocking 9, right, just to make sure there's cards in there, and then you're gonna draw back up anyway, and then
Yeah.
you could be like, first turn I'm swinging for at least 9 and whatever else you got.
Hmm.
Yeah.
If there's anything, I don't know Brute very well, but if there's cards out there that will give this dominate really easily, that's pretty devastating.
Mm.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
much so. I'd also give it an 8. I think it's got some turn closing power.
Hmm.
yeah, and at the very least, so one thing that keeps it an 8 is you might miss. You could miss. There's gonna be more card. There's gonna be cards that aren't 6 attack in your discard. There just are. Supplemental play cards, instants, potions, whatever may be in your deck. You you could jam a deck full of just 6 attack cards, but it's probably not gonna be very good. There's other
We'll
cards
try it.
in your deck that are not going to be 6 attack. Random action cards, defense actions, whatever. But you're banishing 3 and you only need to hit 1. It's pretty consistent. And you're going to have a lot of 6 attack cards for sure. So that kind of keeps it, there is a chance you miss. So it's not like a totally out of control card. And my other point was that, oh yeah, you could defend with like 2 cards on your defending turn. And this is like, if you have a blue, you throw that and you're swinging for 9 from, a half card hand. Like that's a good turn. Swinging for 9 is good. Your opponent has to do something about that. So this is just efficient damage.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. So we will, I'll do it in post. I will aggregate our score. I'll average out our score, and throw it up on the screen to see what the card salad rating is. I think that one was like what, an 8 point something or 7 point something. Hoping, just fantastic. Look, he's obliterated some kind of like tiger or panther or something. It's just dead, whatever that is. This has 3 colors and it's 6, 5, and 4 attack. 2 cost, 6 attack, brute attack action. It's a rare. So this can be used by the original brute heroes and the shadow brute hero. And anything with brute in its name. This is, as long as you have brute in your name or in your class, this works for you. Draw a card, then discard a random card. If a card with 6 or more attack is discarded this way, pulping gains dominate. While pulping is being defended by less than 2 non-equipment cards, it has go again. So if you land dominate, they have to have a defense reaction in their arsenal to stop you from having go again, which is pretty crazy to swing for 6 with dominate and then be able to do more after that, like perhaps swing for 9 with endless maw.
Hmm.
or anything that the regular brute hero might be doing. You do have to draw a card which pollutes your hand with potentially a not 6 attack card, which is kind of the limiting factor here, right? You could have a hand of 4 6 attack cards, but you have to draw a card, and you're not really running opt in brute, at least right now, very easily. So you're kind of just YOLOing. There is that chance you just draw something that ruins your play, but I figure you have pretty decent control over it. Your odds are going to be higher. You're going to hit this more often than not because you're controlling what's in your hand still. So if you have 2 6 attack cards, chances, half your deck is 6 attack cards, 50-50 you draw a 6 or not, and then you have a 66% chance even if you did draw a non 6 attack card. I think this is another 8. Yeah, dominate with 6 damage, dominate, go again is really crappy for the person who's receiving that.
Yeah. That's potentially really mean.
That's so rude.
Yeah.
Because the trick, you're like, I want to meet that. I want to meet the requirement to take away your go again, and you're like, you can't. I won't allow it.
For the red and yellow, you said it goes down 5/4.
5/4. So
Is it also 2 cost?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
what?
my
No?
brain was thinking of something else. No,
yeah.
no,
Cards always cost the same no matter what color they are, at least so far. But usually just their damage changes, but sometimes like buff effects change how much they're buffing.
Yeah.
My brain read it as blocked by less than 2 equipment cards.
Yeah, if it non-equipment, so they can only do 1 from hand because it's dominated, and then they have to have a reaction card in their arsenal in order to stop you, or some other, something else. All right, I'm gonna need to like flip this thing upside down. I just need to stop moving. There was a few parts I had to mute in the video because I started buzzing.
I noticed. I'm gonna have to give it a 7. Going with 7s again. I agree with everything that you said. The one thing, it cannot defend.
Oh,
so
that's true.
Drop it down just a little bit for me there. It's another just if you're defending, it's another dead card in hand. But I mean that also means that you just have it for the next turn, and you get to pulp someone. So
yeah, I also give it a 7.
I think I was not considering the defense thing. I think I will also move it to a 7. I will downgrade my vote.
Ooh,
that does matter, I mean, they are introducing a lot of new cards that are basically what a classic card would look like that we know of, but they've taken the armor off to bump up other numbers. So like this is a very powerful card, but if you're on the receiving end of a pulping, you can't defend with this. It could mess up your defense plans if you really need to block, which is something to consider. So yeah, I think 7. It's good. It's very good. Still trying to figure out what this 1 to 10 scale means, because it kind of seems like 7 and up is like very good. 6 would be like sometimes you're gonna use it. It's like 6 and 5 is somewhere in there, and then anything below 5 is like it's kind of bad.
Yeah.
7's still very good.
7, you're likely going to be running it.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to be in a sideboard if you don't have it in your deck. I feel like.
That poor cat. I thought there was something else I wanted to say about it. I don't think so. Oh, you I don't think you ever consider putting the blue or yellow one in your deck. Oh wait, no, because you're playing this. You're attacking with it. This doesn't have to have 6. So you could run the other ones if you needed to for some kind of balancing reason for your deck.
Yeah,
because this is not
blues.
Yeah. So yeah, that's possible. You could run the 5 or 4-1, especially if you're playing Shadow Brute, because Shadow Brute doesn't need the 6s as much as everyone else. But this does want to hit 6. I don't know. It's in a weird spot.
I think in Reiner you just run red pulpings.
Yeah, I think you probably just 2 reds. Because you want to make the most out of that dominate anyway. You want the highest attack value possible. Shadow of Blasphemiet. I can't remember. No, this is a majestic, so it's only red. It costs 2 to play. Pitches for 1. 6 damage. Majestic. Shadow Brute attack action. Draw a card.
I'm telling you, they're replacing your hero. Tokens. 100%.
With Blasphemiet?
Yeah.
What about this card says?
It's just clear. It's a giant dragon thingy.
Is it? I think it's just like some shit.
So.
It's like some dark. I think it's just some darkness energy. It is the shadow of Blasphemiet.
It looks like there's a big old tower back there, or like a castle thing. Yeah, I can't tell if that's a dragon or if that's just a energy.
I think it's swirling dark energy, and if you look at the streets, it's like ooze, like this dark ooze, bloody ooze leaking through the streets and like grabbing people.
Yeah,
it's like the essence of Blasphemiet. He's like in Skyrim, some of those dark gods that kind of like bleed out into the world. I don't know. Draw a card, then discard a random card. So same thing as the previous as pulping. If a card with 6 or more attack is discarded this way, search your deck for a card with blood debt, banish it, then shuffle your deck. And this also has blood debt. 2 for 6 is good, but this doesn't have the dominate or anything. This is really just a tutor card. Get a very specific blood debt card into your banish zone, right? You banish it, search your banish it. Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. We don't know the full pool or like what we don't know what she wants to be doing with the blood debt cards quite yet. We know they're good. Some of them can be played from the banish zone, so you could potentially put that book in there that will help you draw a card. And if you're banishing a card that has 6 or more attack, if you're searching your deck for that, then you turn off blood debt this turn, which is good because you're going to be putting at least 2 blood debt cards in your banish zone this turn. I'm not really sure where to place this card. Tutoring is insane, right? That much is clear. The attack is like 6 damage is still good, but you're not intimidating. You're not dominating. You're just tutoring with your like decent attack, which I think is still really good. I give this card. Is tutoring worth the extra point?
Not a guaranteed tutor.
Oh, right. You have to land the effect.
Yeah.
And you can't defend with this either.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I put this at a 7 again.
I'm gonna go with the 6 on this. I think
I'm also gonna go with the 6.
I think the card is solid card, little too easy to miss with it, and it's not anything that's like you were saying. There's no dominate. It doesn't have go again. You can't defend with it. Just got a few too many things that are kind of going against it to make me like feel like I need to run it. Though it does go very well with the new hero power that we're gonna see.
Because you guarantee turn off blood debt. So
yeah,
let's say a scenario where you have a lot of blood debt. Okay. You have a lot of blood debt in your banish zone, and you're kind of like, I can't afford to miss turning that off right now. Yeah. This could just be like, this is like a saving turn. Like you're like, I just need to banish something with 6 attacks so I don't take 10 damage from my banish zone. So that makes it versatile. They could also print something that's like an attack reaction that can be played from the banish zone. So it could combo with itself if they do print a card like that. You could tutor that, put it in your banish zone, and then you're still attacking. and you do your reactions, and then you pull that out and you like add 3 damage, right, or whatever. So it could like be a self-buffing card. It's extremely versatile depending on the other blood deck cards that they print.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does seem to have a lot of potential. But still gotta go with a 6 for it.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna leave mine at a 7.
Bill said 6 too.
Yeah. Oh boy, this one's a mouthful. Convulsions from the bellows of hell. I said convulsions wrong. I don't know why.
I do
know
not
the
want
right
to be
word.
here.
This is what a brutal card. It's the bellows of hell are just convulsing. It's just vomiting skeletons and
Yeah, that's heck.
viscerae. Where
What?
is it supposed to say heck?
As
Oh.
As additional cost to play convulsions from the bellows of hell. Banish 3 random cards from your graveyard. Another Shadow Brute action. This is only a rare. You'd think a name like that would be on a legendary card or a fabled or something. It's just a rare. You'll see this pretty frequently. Does this have?
It'd be really nice in a hollow.
I don't know if this has multiple colors. I think I want to say it does, and it buffs 3, 2, and 1 damage. But anyway, so banish 3 random cards from your graveyard. If a card with 6 or more attack is banished this way, the next attack action card you play this turn gains +3 and dominate.
So this basically just took
Go again.
pulping and gave it to every other card.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you could use pulping with it and not have to land.
But it wouldn't. Yeah, you'd just not have to land. But I guess pulping is discard. But even so, that's pretty good.
That does seem pretty good because again, if we're going off the idea that you're building around the 6 attack,
It's got defense.
Oh my god, it does. That
You
dude,
can
that makes it
finally
an
defend.
8 minimum. 6 attack ban. The next attack action card you play this turn gains +3 and dominate. It costs 2. +3 and dominate. Man. Yeah, something that you have most of the control over being what's in your discard pile due to your deck building and defense choices. I'm going towards the side of like these cards are going to be fairly consistent with good deck building. You're going to hit it pretty often. So let's say in most cases you're paying 2 to dominate and add 3 to brute cards or Command and Conquer or E-Strike and just devastating your opponent with automatic dominate on whatever action card you choose. This is very good.
This card reads, put 3 cards in your banish.
Which is good.
It's got to be good. I mean, that's clearly the theme of Shadow. So
it's good and bad at the same time. But you're not worrying about Blood Debt the turn you do this because if you land it, it's turned off with your Shadow Brute, the current Shadow Brute. And then of course, if you put like you hit a 6 attack and like the book that draws cards and it is just very good to put them in your banish zone. I give this an 8. I think it's good enough to make an 8. It can defend, it can buff, it can attack. It can't attack, but
I'm also gonna go with an 8. I think all around pretty solid card. Nothing too insane. Nothing not like really bad. Again, you can defend like you said. Only costs 2. Gives dominate. I think we were talking about that earlier. Try just more ways of brute giving things dominate. And it has go again. You're just working with your hero power again. I think it's just very, very solid.
I'm also gonna give it an 8. I think it's at the very least, like I said, it's a pretty strong tech for the thematic power that we're seeing come to fruition of Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think if there are the other colors, I cannot recall, and I don't have the page open. If there are yellow and blue versions, I think it's fine. Like, I think you run the blue one and the red one. Even if the blue one is only +1 attack, you're still giving something dominate, and you already run natural cards that naturally have high attack. Like
Mhm.
just banishing cards and giving your stuff dominate is good enough. So I think you run blue and red.
For most things.
Yeah.
Rarely do you run yellow unless it's only in yellow.
I believe Archer runs red and yellow. Because
Yeah.
Archer's paying 0 or 1 for their stuff, so you only ever need like 1 or 2 resources. Ghostly Visit. This is a 1 cost, and I believe it had 3 colors. 1 cost, 4 damage. Yes, it did. Common, shadow attack action. You may play Ghostly Visit from your banish zone. Blood Debt. So this is fantastic because I think you only ever run the red one because that's just what makes the card worth it is 1 for 4. You always have access to 1 for 4.
Yeah.
I think this is a 9 because I think it's a staple in shadow decks, any shadow deck. This is not a brute, so you can put this in any Shadow Heroes deck from here forevermore. You get it into the banish zone, and then it's live. It's just like and Blood Debt is not necessarily bad in that scenario because, again, off the top of my head, Scar for a Scar. If you have less health, you gain Go Again. You play Scar for a Scar, and then at the very least, you always have for 1 resource. You have Ghostly Visit to follow up with another attack. Not even mentioning anything else you might be doing, any other big plays or larger attacks that may have Go Again. Also, this gains Go Again from Snapdragons, things like Snapdragon Scalers and other cards that give 1 cost attacks Go Again. So that's something to bear in mind. It's pretty easy to give this Go Again or chain it with other things that can do that. And I think that's the purpose here. I think this helps you go a little bit wider and and always have it in your pocket. Or on a turn where you just don't really have much, you could just throw that out there, right? You're like, I want to save my hand, but maybe I have a Tunic token, or I just have this red I want to cycle, and I'm just going to attack for 4 and hold or something like that. I think it's very versatile, and it just fits easily, and so I give it a 9.
I'd probably also give it a 9 as well. I agree a lot with one of the last things you said there, just being able to cycle cards. A lot of times I've been playing, I just kind of get stuck with cards in my hand. I'm like, I wish I could just discard and draw a new hand. And, like, cool, I got a red in hand that's kind of just not doing anything for me right now. Just going to go ahead and pitch it real quick and attack for 4. Like, pretty solid. I don't see too many downsides of it unless it gets a little clunky in your banish zone, and because there's no way to get it out that I can think of at the moment.
Well, you play it.
I guess. Oh yeah, I guess yeah, you are playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Goes back to
it
your
is.
discard.
Yeah, it goes back to your graveyard. Duh.
I will
So,
agree with
yeah.
that for now. I
9.
think
For
it's
now.
9. A lot of agreements today.
Yeah.
I
I
think
don't know about this.
yeah, I just think it's like almost an auto include. I mean, you got to have pretty powerful cards to move this out because it's just so versatile and consistent. And even like if another scenario is like you take a big turn, like a big defense turn, you spend like 3 of your cards. You have 1 card left. Usually you wouldn't be able to do anything unless you had like a 1 or like you could pay for your arsenal card or something. You could pitch that and play Ghostly Visit. At least you have a little bit of retaliation, and then you again cycle that card and just get a whole fresh new hand. So yeah, it's just very very good. Lunar Tide Plunderer looks awesome. 3. This also had all 3 colors. It costs 3. This obviously the red one pitches for 1. 7 attack, 2 defense. So it can defend, not for too much, but it does defend. It is a shadow attack action. If Lunar Tide Plunderer hits a hero, banish it and up to 1 card from their soul. So 7 damage is very good. Pitch a blue, attack for 7. That's fine in any scenario.
Yeah.
It obviously is better against light heroes, but it's not useless against non-light heroes because it's still swinging for 7 and it can still block for 2. So this is not a scenario where you're like, well, Fate Foreseen or whatever is better, because it's like this is still a very threatening 7 attack card. Which is like a hard number to defend for, right? You gotta do 2 3s and some armor, or 3 of your cards in your hand, or like a defense reaction for 4 and a card from your hand. So you got to deal with it. I mean, 7's not something you want to take. And
I
if
want
you're
to note, in sealed formats, that card is terrifying.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a big draft card for a common as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are swinging with Lunar Tide Plunderers. You got to be playing a Shadow Hero though.
Yeah.
So half of the draft pool is swinging with 7 damage Lunar Tide Plunderers. Yeah, and you only got 20 health, and you're like, please don't hit me. And then obviously, if you're a light hero, so it sounds like your soul is hard to stack up. Like, it takes a lot of effort to get a nice soul stack. And so that card we were talking about yesterday with the 0 cost banish 3 from your soul is very powerful, because you need a couple turns or a few turns to put that many cards in your soul at all. And then the dark guys are usually, they look pretty menacing, and it's like banish 1 card from their soul. And so you got to figure that's worth a lot, because a lot of these cards are like banish 1 rather than like, we're not like get 5 cards out of their soul. Like, they're not going to be stacking very many cards in their soul. So if you're a light hero, you really don't want this to hit, and you got to commit a lot of resources to defending this. This is but I'm going to give it a 6. And like I mentioned earlier, above 5 is still good, but this is not a 7 where you would probably have it in your deck. I think this is meta dependent, and it's obviously you're going to think about putting this in a lot more if light heroes are all over the place. And like 3 for 7's good, but I feel like you just have class cards that are just going to be better. But if you're looking for, if you need space and you're like, I need a big attack, I just want to put some big attacks in, this is fine. It's a consideration. It's nothing super special though. I think it's definitely like a 7, more like a 7 if there's a lot of light, if you're expecting to fight light heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 as well.
6. I'm going with the 7.
Oh, I thought we were getting a 666.
No, I'd like to, but I think it's just a little bit better than that. I had a reason in my head, and I just lost it.
Oh, is it the border?
The border? No, it's not the border. No. Oh, we have yet to see the what I'm guessing is going to be another shadow hero.
Oh yeah.
So this could fit really well in the other hero's deck. Could just be like garbage as well in the other person's deck too. But I'd still give it a 7.
If you get that +3 and dominate, you've got a 10 attack dominated thing that will rip out a piece of your soul if you're a light hero. It's pretty good.
Can combo pretty well.
Spew Shadow. 2 cost. I don't recall if this had colors. I kind of don't think so, but maybe. 2 cost, pitch for 1, no attack. No attack value. It's got 2 defense. choose it's a shadow action. I'm all over the place. Choose an attack action card with cost 2 or less in your banish zone. You may play it this turn. If it attacks a light hero, it gains +2 attack. Go again. So this one I'm confused on because I heard the Covenant guys talking about it, and the way they were talking about it sounded like you don't have to pay for the card that you're choosing. But I feel like you do have to pay for the card that you're choosing.
I feel like you would. It makes me think of Wizard. It's like this is now an instant.
You may
still have to pay for the
play
instant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I was mishearing them or they were thinking about it wrong. I don't know. But that's what I thought. And I thought this was kind of bad looking at it because but you got to think it's 2 or less. So you could choose a 0.
Yeah.
If there's something in there or even a 1 that might make your turn. I just don't see. I can't think of a card yet that you want to pay 2 to pay 2 to play it from the banish zone. Seems like a lot. You're pitching at least 2 cards or a tunic token.
Yeah.
So I think it's got to be a really important 2-cost card that you're pulling from the banish zone. But this could open up potential for a 1-cost card or a 0-cost card that's going to really change your turn. That's sitting in the banish zone. Or just if you need an attack option and you want to pull something out of there. But without more context and more cards, I don't really see the application of this. I'm sure it could be powerful. I mean, you're pulling anything with the 2 or less from your banish zone. And again, with the specifically light hero stuff, it doesn't have very much weight for me. Obviously, that's very good. +2 attack to it is very good, but is paying 2 for +2 like that's not even like that great. We have Razer Reflex is 1 for 3. What is Plunder on 0? That you play from Arsenal and you give your next attack +3. Like 2 for 2 is expensive for buffing a card, and you have to be against a light hero. So I'm not super stoked on the +2. Sometimes that'll be great, but that's not really going to affect the card grade for me. In fact, I'm just usually going to consider, at least currently, if we're only expecting 2 light heroes and then thinking forward when the meta spreads out again, usually you're not going to be getting that +2. Plus, you could be against a shadow hero too. So there's only 1 class. It's just not often. I just feel like it's not going to be relevant that often. But I give this a 6 again. It's like it's got potential. You're tutoring from your banish zone, and it could open up combos, but it just seems kind of expensive and bad. Or not bad, but like not that exciting.
I'm gonna drop that all the way down to a 3.
Ooh.
I think it's gonna. It just seems a little, not necessarily clunky, but like.
I think I'll move mine to 5.
The biggest draw that I see for this is if for whatever reason you need a card out of your banish zone and you get it out into your graveyard, or you're looking at how many blood debt cards you have in your banish zone and you go, oh, that's actually going to kill me. I can play this and get one of my blood debt cards out of there and I'll survive. Probably not going to happen, but
sure. But like, why not play Sigil of Solace and just gain 3? This is like that in that scenario. That's like heal 1.
Yeah. This is. I feel like the biggest application, other than just giving it 2 attack and go again, is needing if you need to get a card out of your banish zone.
In the current vacuum of time that we're in, where we don't know what else is coming to the set, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Whoa.
Because every card that is in existence, this lets you play.
All of the cards we've seen so far are 2 or less, or at least most of them.
And even before, you can banish cards from older sets. This lets them be playable.
You can play E-Strike from the discard. Or the
I don't know
banish.
how
It
easy
says
it is
choose
to
an attack
banish.
action card.
Yeah, but I don't know how
Justin
easy it is to
banished 30
banish
cards
those.
out of his deck earlier against me.
Well, yeah. But as
Kano
a
does it all the
shadow,
time. Like,
as a
people
shadow
do it.
hero.
If you
I mean,
put
if
this in,
Mechanologist can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
if you put this in Brute, I mean the new Shadow Brute, and you're banished.
Yeah.
I mean, you're banishing all kinds of cards from your discard. So like anything could end up in there.
Yeah. Okay. I guess maybe it wouldn't be too hard.
Command and Conquer could end up in there.
You convinced me, Bill. I'll bump it to a 4.
I'm gonna retain my
6
6
or 5.
I'm gonna retain my 6. Because I still think it's
average.
I still think it's expensive to pay for. And
Yeah.
but I mean, I see what you mean now. I could maybe move it to a 7 if I reviewed the whole card pool right now. But I see what you mean.
My Heart and Cross Strap.
Correct. Yeah.
And then it was 2 for a who knows what.
Yeah. Yep. No, I see the potential there.
It gets
but
worse when I read if it attacks a light hero part. But either way, I'll give it an 8.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing that holds it back a lot for me. Is this anything that says if it attacks a light hero or if it attacks a dark hero, I immediately dock a point because I'm like it's so limited right now. Maybe in the future that rating goes up, but right now, at launch, the scores are a lot higher because everyone's going to be playing Shadow and Light. But when things settle, there's still the original 8 heroes. Things are gonna not be Shadow and Light everywhere, and a lot of the time you're gonna go through a tournament and be like, I didn't face a light player.
Yeah.
Rally the rear guard. This had 3 colors. 6, 5, and 4. The plus defense was the same, +3 on all of them. 2 attack.
Does the base defense go up at all?
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. 2 cost. 6 damage. 2 defense. Common card. Generic attack action. So this one is actually kind of interesting.
You would never run this over unmovable.
Maybe not in a deck that already really wants unmovable. You wouldn't replace it with this. Because that's like, you just need to block something big. All right. So I actually have some knowledge from other folks that were talking about this earlier that I would not have seen on my own. But this is a 2 for 6, which is good. That's a fine turn if you don't have anything fancy set up. Once per turn, instant. Discard a card. Rally the rear guard gains +3 defense. Activate this ability only while it's defending. So you defend. You're getting attacked. You defend for 2. And it's like, great. Discard a card and gain +3. It doesn't seem very exciting. But this allows you to block with 2 cards from your hand if they have Dominate. Because you could throw away a 3 defense card anyway and add it to this. You've just finagled your way around Dominate, and you could have a defense reaction in your arsenal.
Yeah.
So this messes up Dominate plays a little bit. You block a lot more damage than you would have originally. So it becomes it's flexible. It can attack. It's 2 for 6. That's a good attack, and it has that ability to be flexible on the defense. You could block. You could just be like, I'm not going to attack with this next turn. I'm just going to block this small attack for 2, and then it's an instant. So if they do an attack reaction and buff their attack, you can activate your instant and buff your defense.
Yeah.
So Dorinthia comes in and goes +3 to my sword swing, and you go +3 to my rally the rear guard. Which makes it a
better attacks.
Sure, there's better attacks, but this is an extremely flexible card in attack and defense. It's just like, it's not the greatest attack and it's not the greatest defense, but it does a good job at both of them.
Yeah, it's just a very
I know for sure it wouldn't go in Runeblade because Runeblade's doing 9 for free. So why do I need a 2 for 6? Also unmovable. It fills 1 slot for 2 cards, I guess, but I don't know. I don't see it as that strong.
So this can go in brute because it's 6 attack, which helps there, gives them a little more versatility in defense and just another 6 attack card. I think brute wants this.
Is only that one 6 attack?
Yes, only the red one. The other ones are 5 and 4. Anyone else? I haven't played very many classes, so I really don't know who this goes in.
Yeah.
But
it could go in brute.
Brute for sure, immediately. I mean, the 6 attack guarantees that. And then I'm sure there's many ways to play, so I'm sure this finds room at other places too. People who are more mid-range, maybe, who want to attack with like decent numbers, but are also afraid of getting slapped by giant things, and so this kind of just helps that. This helps if there's a lot of dominate, which brutes are seeing a lot of good cards, and the original brute hero, Reinar, he's intimidating. So the new one seems to want to dominate rather than intimidate, which are the same effect in their scenarios, but just doing it a different way, right? Intimidating your cards down to, if you intimidate them down to 1 or 0, you basically dominated.
But intimidate lasts through all their attacks.
That is true. But with the way Reinar plays, you usually use your whole hand for that. So Reinars aren't really going again. But if the shadow here is seeing a lot of play, and there's a lot of dominate, and also, I mean, other people dominate too. Like if we do see Ranger come in, Azalea dominates a lot. You could put more of these. You could put these in your sideboard and be like, this is a way for me to help out with the dominate defenses. So I give it an 8. I think it's very good. I think it's a sleeper good.
Yeah, I give it an 8 as well. I think if I'm remembering the last card right, I think this would synergize pretty well with that last card.
2 or less in your advantage. Yeah.
I give it 6.
8, 8,
Okay.
6. Okay. I think that's fair. I think it's definitely, it could just be lackluster, right? Like the numbers could just not get there. But I truly believe that the versatility gives it a lot of power.
I really like the dominate, being able to kind of work around that a little bit.
Yeah. Block 3 more. And yeah, true. It's like it could be a defense reaction that you're playing, right? You like Bill is saying, what is the card called? The defense reaction card.
Unmovable.
Unmovable. Could be unmovable, but again, you're like, yeah, but that's specifically only good in defense. I can put this in my arsenal and not be like, crap, that's stuck in my arsenal.
This happened to me too many times. And it also is like, if they do make it so that way you can't play defense reactions.
Command and Conquer.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't play defense reactions. Oh well, I'll just play this instant. Fine.
Yep. All right, so I think we're done now. I think we just have the hero, Levia, Shadowborn Abomination. If a card with 6 or more attack has been put into your banish zone this turn, cards you own lose blood debt during the end phase. And we've obviously talked about that a lot throughout the video. She has 4 intellect and 40 health, pretty standard for a hero. And her young form is just half of that with the same hero power. I love this art. I love this. Like, she kind of looks like a zombie, but she's got like dark energy dripping off of her. It's pretty cool.
Did you notice what she's doing in that picture? She's sucking the soul out of a rabbit.
Oh, no, I can't see it behind all that text.
Yeah.
So this hero, how powerful is it to stop blood debt? I think very good.
I don't know if it's stronger than Reiner.
It's completely dependent on like the rest of the blood debt cards, right?
Yeah, because all it's doing is countering the effect of Blood Debt. So Reiner, you just don't use Blood Debt, and then you have an extra effect. You
Yeah.
know. So it really depends on how much you're running in and out of the Blood Debt stuff and using your Banish Zone. If you're manipulating your Banish Zone a lot, or capable of manipulating your Banish Zone a lot, Levia's gonna be great. Otherwise, Reiner's better.
It is interesting. And some people, there's a discussion going on right now of like, well, if why? So they're creating all these new classes, right? Or they've given each region talents, which is like the light heroes are coming from one area. That's their talent, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But the people who come from that city or region, they can be heroes that are light, like ranger. That's the talent. Being light or shadow is a talent, which I feel like they should have chosen better terminology. But
So
and
talented.
now I've completely lost my point. I think I was going if they make a lot more. I literally, I don't. It's completely
lost him.
gone. Oh, the discussion of like, so the new heroes, lots of new heroes are gonna have dual classes basically, because she can access shadow cards, she can access brute cards, and she can access shadow brute cards, which are all specific types of cards. So she has access to 4 card pools if you include generics.
She's got some super deep pockets.
Reinar has 2 card pools, brute cards and generic.
Yep.
But
the other thing that happens though,
yeah,
if it's a light meta, that makes Reiner even better than Levia.
because because
he
they
won't
have
suffer to the shadow, basically the shadow hate cards.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she has that negative factor of that if shadow is popular, people are teching anti-shadow cards into their light decks, and then you take extra effects. But Reinar has a really, so the argument right now that I've heard is like the base 8 heroes, the first 8, the power 8, have the power 9 if you include Shyana, even though she's Blitz.
Rough, don't call it that.
And then there's the skin trader.
Nah, don't worry about
Captain
it.
or whatever.
Nah. They just have really good hero powers already. Like they are so good that these future heroes they're gonna be on par because these future heroes have negatives and like counters and just not as good hero powers. But they have access to more cards, giving them like wider deck building ability. So it's kind of an interesting balancing act there. So her power is clearly not as good as Reinar's. Even if like you want every blood debt card in your banish zone, and like it's just that is true. It's like she just negates a specific card effect. And she is completely her power level is completely dependent on like how good it is to have blood debt cards in your banish zone. Entirely dependent on that. There is, because there's not a card that can be printed where you're like, wow, this goes great in Levia because of, it's like, no, if it says blood debt, if it doesn't say blood debt, it's like she doesn't change. I mean, obviously that can change the way you build a deck, but like it doesn't change it doesn't interact with her hero power. It doesn't do anything to change her or how she changes the game. It is just like, don't take damage from your own cards for the turn. But again, we haven't seen all the blood debt cards, and I'm thinking I'm gonna put her at a 7 right now. It's like good, but you really gotta build. You gotta lean into the blood debt, and the blood debt cards need to be worth having in your banish zone. Otherwise, it's like, why aren't you just playing a different shadow hero?
I'm gonna go with a 7-4. I think the cards that they've already printed for Shadow Brute are very synergistic with her. Hopefully, that's not all of them. I hope there's plenty more to come that's going to work really well with her.
So
Go
I
ahead.
don't think they are synergistic with her. I think you need to be able to do something with them in your Banish Zone a bunch and bounce them around to make her be synergistic with them. Her just stopping the damage is
Right, like she's
like,
meeting
what's
the
the point of having
criteria.
them in the Banish Zone?
What's the point of having them
Over
be in
your
the
hand.
Banish Zone?
Yeah.
Because you focus on having the 6 cost or the 6 attack ones in your hand and just getting everything else into the Banish Zone.
But you need
So
the
that way
6
you
attack
can
cards to hit the Banish Zone for this effect to matter.
Yeah, so that way you can focus on trying to banish those ones later on, just getting what you can into the Banish Zone. So that way you essentially just have a second deck to play with that you can look at.
Right, but she's it's not like crazy synergy. It's just she's hitting the effect of her 6 attack cards. She's like getting bonus effects like dominate and stuff. And then just turning off the negatives of those cards for a turn. It's not like she's gaining extra bonuses and making them even more powerful. She's just for a turn
Like if
not getting the
they
downside of those cards.
like what I'm saying for looking for synergy, if they printed a card that says this gets 1 attack for each card with Blood Debt in your Banish Zone.
Yeah, then
That right there makes
she'd want to
her
be
power
like,
level.
yeah, you want to be hitting, you want to be putting like 30 cards in there, right?
Then I guess her power takes advantage of Blood Debt pretty well.
Yes.
I gotta give my boy Reinar the up and give her a 5.
All right. Slapping her down with a 5. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't really have any interest in playing her so far. I had no interest in Brute. But be curious to see if any of us or anybody else we know picks her up and we play against it. I mean, it could certainly be very strong. If there's crazy blood deck cards in there that's like once per turn do damage to both players, or like your opponent, or like it would be like do a damage to your opponent and then it also has blood debt. But if you turn off blood debt, then only your opponent is bleeding, or something of that sort. Like, could be very good, but we don't know yet. But I have a feeling she's going to be at least like a 7 power level.
So we wrap back around and quick, or should we just go backwards?
Sure, let's go
Let's
backwards.
go
Let's start with young Levia. Oh man, I honestly I love this artwork. I give this a 10. I think the setting is perfect. Yeah, and now that you point out she's sucking a soul out of a rabbit there with a, so this is her, the lore vaguely goes like she was like a slave basically to some guy who was a dick, and she broke free and was seeking power, or just like ended up with like some dark forces or something. She joined the demonastery, I guess. I didn't read it. I just kind of got the overview. But so this is kind of her rising to that dark side, where she eventually becomes this tentacle monster over here. And this is just, you can see she does kind of, at first I thought she was a zombie with like the way the red is coming from, like going to her eyes and stuff. But like there's a lot of detail in here with the soul and the blood, and it looks like she took a bite out of that rabbit. She cut her wrists. You can see she's slit her wrists there for like blood magic. It's awesome. There's a lot of story in this character art here.
I'm gonna give it a 9. I agree. I think it's great. Beautiful in a weird way. Just something a little missing. Not sure what it is. I cannot put my finger on it. There's just something that's just not quite.
This should have been a deer.
Should have been a deer. No, I think the only thing that really kind of bothers me a little bit about her being a shadow brute, she doesn't seem very brutish.
That is weird. It is weird that she's a brute, because like so far the
Yeah.
brutes have been those like orc creatures, right?
Yeah. But I'll let it slide for now.
I'm gonna give it an 8 because the poor rabbit. But it's a good art.
At least it's behind the text. You can't really see it. You don't have to look at the dead animal.
Yeah,
very
if it wasn't
clearly.
pointed out to me, it'd maybe been a 9.
Sorry, I had to ruin your night.
All right, Shadowborn Abomination. So her bone armor looks really cool. I'm not into the tentacle hair. I'm down to like a 6 on her. I kind of, her face is very. She's completely departed from humanity, obviously, and it's just the only thing that's going for me is the bone armor. Really, that looks really cool. The tentacles and her face are not doing it for me.
I'm gonna go with the 6 as well. The bone armor's a little iffy for me, only because I get it. They're probably creating their own bones, and it's not from anything that we've seen on this world. But the bones are just kind of odd looking. I think it'd be a little different if they looked like ribs and other just human bones or something.
They're fancy bones.
I think she probably
Yeah.
melted their bones to her body.
Melt it? Yeah. I mean, something. The face is kind of off.
Well, she's
And
missing her skin.
I'm not a fan of the tentacles either.
I am going to give it a 10 because
Oh damn!
it 100% embodies Shadow Brute.
And Abomination.
She is going to
Mm-hmm.
rip your head off with her big old thick old arm, and then just
Her arm is pretty thick
Yeah.
there. Her forearms are huge. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I'll move my score to a 7 because I do keep forgetting that like this is just on point for thematics. Like I don't have to like the way she looks because she's supposed to be gross and demonic.
I also like this dark, gloomy cathedral that she is standing in.
There's a pile of bodies at her feet as well.
Yeah,
behind
and broken
her.
window.
Yeah,
And
She
you even
looked
get
like
like little
she
bits of
just
glass coming out at you.
yeah, it's
murdered
flying.
an entire village. So
I'll go up to a 7 as well.
All right, we saved it in the second half. Rally the rear guard. So I actually don't like the art style. I think the guards look dopey a little bit, but the guy's face really does it for me. This just like it's almost comedic how much emotion is on his face. Just like burst into the doorway, just like ah. However they did it, he has a lot of emotion in his face, and I really like that. But these guys are kind of just like, whoa, like there's like fireballs outside. They're like, what do you mean we gotta go? What's
They got caught with their pants down, pretty much.
Yeah, I give this one a 6.
I'll give it a 4. When I think of rallying, I think of Attack on Titan. When I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head. Blonde-haired guy lost his arm. Sorry, spoiler if you haven't seen that. But when he was giving the rallying speech, I feel like it should be a guy standing in front of a big old crowd giving a big old rally speech or something like that. Just seems a little off. This to me seems more of a not quite a rally, something else.
I'm gonna give it a 4 because I think they look dopey. I think it's unproportional, and not a big fan.
Yeah. Spew Shadow. All right. This one, I just trying to feel it out. He is certainly spewing shadows.
Consuming things as well.
I give this one a 9. I think it's just the skull thing looks awesome. I love the blue coloring. It's a good style, and it's obviously very very terrifying. He's just spewing darkness all over these defenseless soldier guys here, just getting wrecked.
Give it a 9 as well. I like the shadows that it's spewing are creatures themselves. Got little hands, little faces. I like that. It's got some good detail.
Yeah, I give it a 9. To make an interesting thought, the dark cards, that's a lot of purple. There's some blue in there to break it up. That's, in a sense, exactly what we talked about yesterday with it being just
The light
same
cards
color
being blown out.
But the darker cards do it much better than a bunch of yellows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but yeah, I give it a 9.
Yeah, I think darker palettes just work better than together than a lot of light palettes all smashed together.
I don't know how many times any of us really wear a bunch of bright colors, so I think we're a little biased on
there's
this
that
one.
too.
How about this dark card where it's
Oh,
got a lot
10.
of light? I give this a 10 too. I love the like portal to another dimension in the background, and it looks like we've got some souls like.
It's almost like
you
another
can
eclipse in the
see
background.
They're coming out of the bodies there in the
Yeah,
front ones.
yeah. So he
Yeah.
like just swept his scythe and just ripped their souls out, and he's throwing them back into the portal. Like that's
Yeah.
I give it a
awesome.
10. That's gorgeous.
Yeah,
They did a Reaper very well.
Yeah.
Like it just
he's
looks,
reaping those souls.
yes.
He's reaping the hell out of those souls.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've seen Grim Reaper style cards, and it just looks a little cartoony when they're trying to be serious.
Grim
or
Adventures of Billy and
doesn't look
Mandy, right? Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. I think
That card game.
spot on.
Card game?
I think
I don't know how many times I've seen Grim Reaper cards, and you said, yeah, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
I think for a lot of the shadow cards, the hollow version gonna be really nice looking.
That could be like the whole like purple ghost chick could be all foily.
Yeah.
I love the art style on this one. I love that more hand drawn or hand painted look. Something seems a little disproportionate to it, to me about it. I'm not really sure what it is. I guess this is an 8. I think it looks cool.
You don't know how many women you've seen phasing through walls.
No, it just I don't know. It just seems like there's a little bit of disproportionate in some of the objects. I don't know. I'm not talking about the boobs either.
I'm trying to figure out what exactly she's
I can't
phasing
even tell what any of the I can't tell what any of the objects are.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Just I don't know. Just everything.
Really cool card. I think it looks great. I think I'd be giving it I want to give it a 9, but I'm going to give it an 8. Just because not entirely sure what's going on in the background. I know what she's doing. That's evident.
I'm going to give it a 6 because she's coming out of something, but we have no idea what's going on. And that's like, a lot of the other ones, even the background has a lot of information in it and it feels good. This is just like...
Yeah. You're like,
I
don't even know where she is. Yeah. It kind of looks like a cart.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
I can't tell if that's like a monstrous thing, and that's like flesh, like bloody flesh that she's coming out of.
I think I think that's like a cover, or like a cloak, or
like some
some
cloth
I think it's
draped
cloth.
over tapestry.
Yeah, I think it's a cloth over what appears to be a cart or a chest of some. I don't. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's you're like, what's happening in this image? Like she looks cool, but everything else, you're like,
makes me think of Misdrevis.
Convulsions from the bellows of hell.
I still don't want to be here.
I gotta give this one a 10 just for like the absolute epicness of hell convulsing. You can see all kinds of blood and guts, just like looks like it's being thrown around. It's like literally like it's spewing. It's it's convulsing. There's skeleton spires, and it's like this is exactly what I would think of if hell convulsed. It's like hell sneezed and this came out of the ground. This is what it would be.
I think I'm gonna give it a 9, kind of on the same tone of what was going on with the last card. Just because, I understand a lot of blood, a lot of bones, just gore and whatnot, but like, what exactly is going on? Like, convulsions, I guess, what the card says, but I don't know, just kind of, eh. 1.
Yeah, I was thinking 1.
No, it's pretty flawless for what it is. I'm gonna give it an 8, simply because it has the same angling. It's a little spire in the middle. It really looks like that Doomsday card, but just a little bit done up.
It does remind me of Doomsday.
It seems the art's reused. I think the Doomsday one is much worse. It's just skulls in a pile. This one, like you said, it is the convulsion of hell. It's just blood everywhere.
Yeah.
This almost makes me think that this is what was going on before the Doomsday card happened. Like, this was going on, and then Doomsday just kind of rose out of that.
Yeah.
Or was Doomsday first, and it was just a skull thrown, and then hell convulsed all over it.
Either or.
This is the bloodied up skull throne. Okay, Shadow of Blasphemiet. There's a lot of flavor here.
Tasty.
I give it a 7, and it's really awesome. You see the spire and like what I believe to be dark energy swirling around it, and then you've got this like this bloody goop going through town. That's like his
Is this
shadow.
Carlos again?
Oh yeah, it is Carlos
Yeah.
Puchaga.
Yeah.
Um,
Carlos.
and
Thanks
you
again,
can
man.
see that the shadow ooze is like it's got hands and skulls and eyes, and it's like reaching, it's grabbing people. But I don't understand why no one seems to be concerned.
I think because that is
They-
visual representation of the shadows lurking for us.
They can't
Yeah.
see
Not
it.
there.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I'd give it
You know,
a
like the
give it
shadow
an 8.
wolf in the ear of the person and that kind of stuff. Like
yeah.
these people are just doing their business, and we're seeing this demonic shadow that's going around, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go to the store today."
This is making me think of some older Magic cards.
It actually looks to me like it's straight pulled from a Dominion card.
Dominion. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it an 8.
788.
788. Pulping.
10.
10. It's 10.
It's doing exactly what it says.
It
Yeah.
is pulping. It's hilarious. Even though it's a cat, it's hilarious. He pulps the shit out of that cat.
It's a
It's
cheetah.
pulped.
It was running fast and he hit it.
It is thoroughly pulped.
I like that card a lot. I really do.
Mitch.
I'm gonna give it a 9 on one thing. I think he would be bloodier than what this picture depicts.
Yeah.
I think there should be more blood on him.
Still getting a 10.
Oh my god, you can see right here on the right half, you can see like the torn pelt and skin of it, how where it ripped apart.
That's how I knew it was a cheetah.
Oh my god. It's just like it's thoroughly pulped. I think he looks good too. They did a really good. They put a lot of detail into his face, and it just looked really good. Endless Maw. Oh boy, this thing is brutal. This thing looks awesome.
Team Covenant, they were talking. It looks like a pincer. Almost.
Oh yeah, it looks like a pincer.
I'm gonna give it a 10.
I want to.
They're summoning it. I like they're summoning it.
Oh, are they? Yeah, they
comes out of the ground there. It's in this dark, gloomy hollow, or what is it?
Yeah, I would say gloomy hollow.
Is that the forest? Gloomy hollow kind of feel.
I'll agree with a
that
10.
encapsulates
It's
what
just
I feel
awesome.
like for the shadow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be disappointed again. I'm gonna give it a 9. I think there's just something's missing in here. Don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it.
Somebody getting eaten by the Endless Maw?
Maybe. I mean, there's blood.
You see all that
Where'd
blood
that
around?
come
He
from?
decimated the body when he came out.
You know, you combine this with the previous card, perfect. He's got blood on him. Reinhardt didn't have blood on him. I mean,
it really is terrifying. Like, just imagine that thing running at you, and it's like bending over, and just like its whole body is opening to consume you. Like, yeah, truly terrifying stuff. And that is all of the cards.
I like the masks on his knees there too.
I do like this one with the skull, or the spike coming out of the eye there.
Yeah. Oh, he's got little purple hands.
You got little hands?
Yeah, little purple hands back there to that guy.
This guy?
Yeah. All right, 10. There we go. That's what it was missing. I like it now.
Is it really a 10 now?
Yeah, the dude's got tiny purple hands.
All right, we
He
got
was oddly excited about the purple hands.
All right, we got like multiple perfect 10 art cards this time.
When it's hollow, those hands are gonna be shiny. I know.
That's the only thing. It's just those little
Yeah,
tiny
just the little
hollow
hands.
hands.
Oh, that does improve it. That does improve it for sure.
All right, that is going to wrap up the day 2 spoilers. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you think these cards should be rated, and if we got it right or incredibly wrong. Let us know how you feel about the art, and give us a like if you liked this video, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of what we have to offer. Thank you for watching. I think I said that already, and we are out.
Bye.